What is in a word? Today we ask a few of our very own audience members if they know what a word is. It appears as though not very many people in this community know what a word is. So we turn to our local community linguistics student to ask, what is a word? So can you tell us a little bit more about words and what you know? You're a linguistics student, right? I am a linguistics student, correct. So you want to know about words? Well, when we study words in the School of Linguistics, we typically refer to the School of Morphology, or the topic of morphology, which is the study of words and their internal structure, not the study of organisms and their form and structure, which is the study of morphology and biology. But anyways, morphologists also study other things, like the way meaning is contained in words, how to put parts of words together, if they can be put together, and how rules and meanings interact. So, again, back to the question, what is a word, you ask? From my online linguistic lectures, I learned that a word is more than just a string of letters with spaces around it, as there actually aren't any spaces in spoken word or speech. Who would have thought, right? Sure, yeah, a linguist, but, anyway, this is how our words look when we speak them. This diagram is called a spectrogram, and is a way linguists are able to physically observe speech by representing the acoustic signal that speech produces. Interesting. If I do say so myself, it's interesting. Yes, in my linguistics class I also learned that sounds in words are often arbitrary because the same words sound different in different languages. Thus showing the relationship between sound and meaning is typically arbitrary, with the exception of onomatopoeia, which are words that typically sound like what they mean. For instance, bzz, that sounds like a bee. Other things, such as contradictions, idioms, and mondegreens, also demonstrate the fact that meaning does not have a direct relationship with words. However, the best way to try to describe what a word is to you is by breaking speech down into its smaller units, and that is a morpheme. Some words can be broken down into smaller units, but others can't. For instance, the example our professor gave us was the word dog and dogmatic. Words composed of only one morpheme are called simple words, while words that are composed of two or more morphemes are called complex words. Some words are composed of only one morpheme. Some morphemes are able to stand alone. Morphemes that can stand alone are called free morphemes, and morphemes that are bound or attached to another morpheme are typically called bound morphemes, and are typically prefixes and suffixes like pre, is, ity, ing, and un. Other meaningful terms in relation to words are the root, not a carrot, but the part of the word that contains the most meaning. For instance, the root in the word unfair is fair, and the root in the word unclear is clear. An affix, on the other hand, is a part of a word that is a bound morpheme that attaches to the root, such as a suffix or prefix, as in un in the word unclear and un in the word unfair. And lastly, the stem of a word is a part of a word that an affix attaches to, which can sometimes be the same as a stem, but that's certainly not always the case. Then you have the rules for words, which in essence state that bound morphemes must always be attached to a free morpheme to make a word, but a word cannot be made of two bound morphemes, so I can't just say "lily" like to say excitedly. That affix cannot be bound to that same affix twice. And those are the kind of things that we don't typically learn. They're not explicitly stated, but we do learn them when we are acquiring language. So that's the basic gist of the word. But then you also have your eponyms and acronyms, clippings, blends, back formations, compounding, and word coinages. Since language is always changing, I feel like there are new words every day, but that's what I can give you to answer the question, what is a word? Well, there we have it, folks. Another day down, another thing learned. I hope you carry your knowledge with you and forever know what a word is. Thank you.